All right, today we're going to bring a snap button tool, and this is great if you want to change anything to snap buttons. Now, you could build your own, and this is one great way to do it. Now, I personally have all these plastic bags that we take to the market. Sometimes we want to make sure they seal up and close up, and this is a perfect tool to actually take advantage and create one of these dollar cheap value bags and turn them into something more useful and more secure. So we're going to take a look at it and see how this thing works. So first of all, they give you the actual tool itself, the clamp itself, all right? The instructions are included. Now the clamp actually has different fixtures on the actual ends, all right? That this is going to be actually controlling the actual cuts, all right? Itself, they give you other little small tools so you can actually grab some of the ends too, and the different types of snapping buttons that we're going to set up. So we're going to grab one of our plastic bags and go ahead and set up the buttons and see how it works. So first of all, they give you different sizes, and multiple different options that you have in here. And of course, they give you from the actual snapping button to the actual closing button. So these two have to meet in one way and set up. So let's go ahead and test it out and see how it works. So on the instructions that you follow, they have different sequences of how to actually make sure you get the right processing going. All right. Now the first process is going to be this one right here, and this one has an indentation, if you guys can see, to actually make the hole. And when you actually grab whatever material you're going to make the hole you actually push it back. Make sure you tighten up the back end and lock it in place so you can get cut through. All right. Once you get cut through, you go through the other processes of setting up these other buttons too on the outside and inside. Now they do have interchangeable on the bottom, and they are magnetic. If you guys can see that, for every process is different. So right now we're going to do a bag, a very simple bag, and see how it works. All right, so we're gonna make a snapping button for these plastic bags that we have, all right? And we're gonna grab some of the edges here, the strongest part. So I wanna make sure I make a hole. Right now, we're gonna center it here, right in the between, right in the center of the actual bag, so we can have that snapping area. And all you gotta do is push it down, and if it doesn't snap on, you could lower it down until you actually hold it on like that. And once you get that hole going, all right, you can move left and right and then let it go by holding down the clip here. Let it go, and you can see a mark that I just left right now. If you guys can see, that's a perfect mark right there. And we are going to set up the first level, and the button is going to go on the outside. You guys can see that button. And that's what they give you the little extra tools to make that extra indentation here. And if you pass through the buttons, see that? There's the button that we have in there. And this one, we're going to actually set up this part right here, the snapping part, all right? And to do that, we're going to go ahead and change it out. Flat surfaces area. And we are going to go ahead and mark it different ways. So we're going to do it this way, if you guys can see that. And we're going to close it slowly enough so we could grab onto the system, not to push too hard, just to hold on to it. And if you guys can see, we have it going, and we want to make sure the snapping area goes. So now once we have it there, we just push it down, clamp it in there, let it go, and see if the button works. And there it is. There's the first part of it, and it won't come off because it's embedded in there. That's one. And then we just want to go and set the second one here. And I'm going to show you guys the same thing, the same process. There it goes. Move it around. I like to move it around just a little bit just to make sure I get the nice hole. And it's easier with plastic than it is with leather. So grab this out, take it out. This one in here, snap it in there. So it's a little harder here, but just make sure you line it up. Once you have it up and you confirm it, all you got to do is squeeze it in there, goes in there, very simple. And then let it go. And it's going to get a little stuck here, but you got to remove it. So we ended up doing it. If you guys can see it, we snap one in there. And we're able successfully to have the button. Now lining it up was a little difficult because you got to mess with it just enough to actually wiggle it in there, right? So let's take a look at it. Now we converted this bag into a much convenient bag where you don't have to drop your items in there and make sure that it's not going to spill over in your car. Now we converted this dollar bag into a more easy to use, and you can actually add more snapping buttons on the other end too. But right now we're just doing a demo for you guys, converting this dollar bag into multiple accessories, and very simple to use. I mean, I like that they came with that option that we are able to do our own buttons, snapping in. You don't have to worry about ever losing anything. And not only does it work on plastic, it works on leather, clothing, and other stuff. So very simple, easy to use. I hope you guys enjoy the video.